want to say something. If it wasn't for y'all, I would really think that I ain't doing shit. Because the industry I'm in does not recognize me. And to be clear, I'm speaking about the black spaces in the industry I'm in. Because y'all know I don't give two damns about any of these other spaces. But the black spaces is what I'm referring to. Which is largely in part why I realized like I need to shift out of this industry. You know, like I don't get invited to Essence Women in Hollywood. I've never been invited to the NAACP Image Awards. I've been nominated for an Image Award. Never been invited to the NAACP Image Awards. Never been honored at Black Girls Rock. Like I've hosted these events. You know what I'm saying? I literally hosted the BET Awards in 2020 in my house, and I was not invited to the BET Awards since. So I just want to thank y'all for always reminding me that I really am valuable, because the game and the industry that I've been in has never let me know.
What's up, everyone? It's Books&Looks TV. Today, I am going to be talking about Amanda Seales. So Amanda Seales is mixed from the Caribbean, and her father is Black American and identifies as Black. Amanda Seales was formerly known as Amanda Diva. She was born July 1st, 1981 in Los Angeles, California. She is a comedian, host, DJ, content creator, and more. And she attended Dr. Phillips High School before going to SUNY Purchase for undergrad, then acquiring her master's degree in African American Studies with a concentration in hip-hop from Columbia University. She began her career on the Nickelodeon sitcom My Brother and Me and the role of Dion, later becoming widely known to the public as a DJ Amanda Diva, the face of hip-hop on MTV2 Sucker Free Sundays. Though spending time in 2011, she changed her name from Amanda Diva back to Amanda Seales, also returning to television, and soon after adding stand-up. She is the CEO of Diva Works Incorporated, her production company under which she performs and produces smart, funny content for the stage and screen. She is very involved in work targeting the empowerment of young women, the end of racial discrimination, and is a social media ambassador for her mother's home island of Grenada, stands for and how she identifies. Okay, so I'm just going to play some clips. So she went on to the Jason Lee.
To another episode of Nettie Knows, a little show that I've created where I test my mother on things that I know and she tests me on things that she knows. Now this episode, we are repping for Grenada and Black America. Now my mother is from Grenada, so by nature of her being from Grenada, I have Grenadian in me, but I was born, I was raised, and my father is from Black America, so I'm repping for Black America in this edition. I'm Amanda Seales. Of course, I'm always giving you smart, funny, Black content. I'm Amanda Seales. Of course, I'm always taking y'all with me when I'm on the move. Jet setter! I'm Amanda Seales. Of course, I'm an independent artist, because I would rather impress the people than impress Hollywood. I'm Amanda Seales. Of course, I'm going to ask you, have you been to therapy? I'm Amanda Seales. Of course, on Instagram, people think I'm always angry about something, but on Patreon, they see I'm living a life. For the biracial folks saying we should be able to own our whiteness. I don't know why y'all want to own whiteness. Ethnicity, I get. Culture, I get. Whiteness is an oppressive concept. And the same way that we challenge white people who own and take pride in their whiteness, you too are challenged for ownership and taking pride in your whiteness. Okay? So think about that. It's not about trying to undermine your, I don't know, ethnic makeup. It's about acknowledging the context and the conflict within it. All white people ain't the devil. All Black people ain't your friends. All women ain't for the movement. And people of color is a qualifier, not a unifier. So, just, keep your eye open and your head on swivel.
Show to discuss her upbringing.
I was always fascinated by your journey of Blackness, your Blackness, because I wasn't aware you had a master's degree in African American Studies. Did your journey in becoming so woke or connected to your Blackness start with education, your community, or the industry?
I mean, it started at home. I was raised in a black ass home. I mean, Grenada as a country is a black ass country. If you look up, like, there's this famous speech that Revolutionary Maurice Bishop of Grenada that he did, where he was talking to a whole room of folks about how America was so worried about Grenada having a revolution because, unlike Cuba, Grenadians are black and English speaking. Like, there are black people in Cuba, but Grenada as a country is a black country and it's all English speaking. So they'd be able to align with the freedom fighters in America in a way that other countries that may have had the same values wouldn't be able to. And I really feel like a lot of people don't understand that about the islands. Like, there's a real great sensibility and pride in the black folks and being black in these islands. And so I grew up in that. My mom was always playing Bob Marley and, all types of reggae and all types of, my mom loves pop culture. So I was exposed to just all types of black music. And I mean, this might be woo woo and, so you could take it or leave it, but I just feel like I've been here before. And so when I got here, I already knew who I was, which is very discomforting to people who don't know who they are. Because it comes off as arrogance when it's really just an inner peace.
When you say that, explain what that means for the people who are...
My soul has been here before. There's a certain restlessness that you have when you've been here for the first time. I have friends and we talk about this and they're like, I'm here for the first time, girl. I'm looking around. I'm saying things. But I feel like I always had a connectivity to my blackness. I never had to learn it. So that's why it's still to this day so discomforting to me when people who I feel are community don't see me as community. Cause I'm I never not felt like this about you, And as I went through school and, my mom had me in even though my mother is from Grenada, she still understood that I'm in America and the Black America is a different experience. So she had me in extracurricular activities, the McKnight Achievers in Orlando and, making sure that I'm hanging around black children. And I always had a black doll. I mean, my mom went up to a lady in a Walmart parking lot who had a black child in the stroller holding a white doll and was like, why did your child have a white doll? And I'm like, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. For the black people who are well, it's none of my business. Yes, it is. I hate to break it to you. But everything is our business. We're a nosy people. They took us from our peoples, and so now everyone is our peoples. And we're also just good at it. We're good at being what the f*** is that? I don't like that shit. I think we need to write some songs about that. Somebody make up a dance. We are 3 months from a river to the sea dance, okay?
She also discussed leaving the real. She basically felt like she couldn't be herself and speak on issues that were important to her. And she basically says, I felt like I betrayed my people, my spirit. I was being talk about certain things that I felt was a betrayal to my people. She said in a video captured by the Neighborhood Talk. And then on top of that, I didn't want to be somewhere that I felt like people weren't being honest with me and where people felt scared of me because of my black womanness. Seals went on to share one of her experiences, explaining that she found herself upset after a white female producer was assigned with the task of helping Seals put together a Smart, Funny, and Black segment of The Real. Smart, Funny, and Black is a game Seals created that tests one's knowledge of Black popular culture based on the variety show of the same name. I did a Smart, Funny, and Black game on The Real, and I was so excited to get to play my Smart, Funny, and Black game on The Real, Seals said before adding. They assigned it to the one white woman producer, but we have 3 black women producers and 1 black guy producer. And I was like, why are you producing this? And she was like, so-and-so assigned it to me. And I said, but why would you be producing this? You're a white woman. You don't understand what we're going to be talking about. So Amanda Seales has generally been very outspoken about Blackness, even in spaces in the entertainment world, where a lot of people get shunned out for that. And despite of...
I look at beauty, all these beautiful indigenous peoples across the world,
and the ways in which their cultures and their lands have been attempted to be stolen and taken and successfully been stolen and taken, etc. And then I think about us, Black Americans, and how so many of us don't understand that we are special. And something that is so uniquely special to us that we see all the time is our innovation, our ability to create. And I don't think folks understand that we've had to create our culture. We are a new people. Do you know that? We are a version of indigeneity that, to my knowledge, the world has never seen before. We have had to form our indigeneity within us because we weren't given the option or the opportunity to form it in the land. We had to be the land. We have had to be the soil. It has grown directly from us. And so that is why there is so much effort to keep us separated, because were we to actually come together, imagine how we would be able to shift things, because we would be a whole other land on this land. I wish we all knew how special we were and how even more effective we would be were we special together.
Like her advocacy, etc., she has often been told that she is not Black enough. She says,
by the way, stop fucking saying that I'm a non-foundational Black person. Y'all keep trying to come up with ways to undermine the validity of my voice, and I'm really tired of it. I was born in America. My mother is from Grenada. My father is from Boston. I am the descendant of chattel slavery in the West Indies and in America. I don't need to keep explaining this, but I'm gonna do it this one last time because I'm really fucking tired of it. I'm also a fucking genius. So there's a couple different reasons here why I should be listened to. 1, because I'm smart like a motherfucker. 2, because I am the descendant of ancestors who have been through the traumas that we are trying to undo right now. And 3, because I'm an authentic motherfucker and I speak from the heart every goddamn time. Now, anybody who's got something to say to me about otherwise can go suck a bag of dicks, because your point of view has no merit, because it is not grounded in anything foundational, Black or otherwise.
On her education, privilege, and success, I will always tell people, like, I am definitely a beneficiary of middle-class privilege, of light-skin privilege. Some would say I get pretty privilege, but it is absolutely education privilege. That has been the number one reason why I feel like I've been able to carve the path I've gone, because I've had access to educators who genuinely cared and who were also given enough resources to deal with students' individuality. And so some people feel like that, okay, yeah, you are an educated Black woman, but why are you listened to in comparison to other Black women? Or some people just don't like her, let's be real. But then there's also the critique that she has biracial light-skin privilege and desirability, which also keeps her a job in Hollywood, keeps her casted despite kind of being depicted as this angry Black woman or angry woman of color. She appeared on The Breakfast Club back in February of that time period and said she didn't necessarily know if being light-skinned helped her get jobs. Colorism is an actual real thing that is rooted in how dark-skinned people are discriminated against. And I don't think being actually a part of the colorism conversation in terms of someone who is being discriminated against for your skin color. But I do think there is still a unique space that happens when you are a light-skinned person within the Black community and within society. And some people were really upset about that.
Did I really just have someone send me like a 4-page Aaliyah letter about how I copped out on talking about colorism when I was on The Breakfast Club? Because when they asked me about my experience with colorism, I didn't launch into an epic tale about how being light-skinned has carved my way. With all due respect, go fuck yourself. As far as I'm concerned, as a light-skinned woman, all there is for me to say about colorism is that it exists, in that me being light-skinned does not make me more valuable, more talented, or more beautiful, and that we need to stop pushing the narrative that it does. We also need to stop the narrative that me being a light-skinned woman makes me less down for the cause, less of a Black woman, and devoid of struggles based on skin color simply because we don't have the same skin color. Trust, a lot of these white folks, it don't matter what kind of brown you are, they ain't fucking with you. And when you got a mouth like mine, I could be eggshell and they'd be like, get that nigger out of here!
I feel like when she was saying that, I think that is true. And not to say it's like any reverse colorism or anything. I think that her experience in Blackness or being mixed is very different than ours. And so someone responds, I was hoping someone would ask her why no one actually experienced colorism on her pod about light skin privilege, and she really decided to behave violently. None of us light skinned folks have the range to start or facilitate conversations on colorism. And anyone asking you why you failed to collaborate with the most marginalized should be handled with grace, not be met with hostility, because at the moment they're naming an instance where you could not possibly have had that range. Consider that no one who is privileged knows. We have privilege, but we don't understand it, and we don't know it. This is something that takes listening and empathy as well as community. I hope Amanda has folks who care for her enough to betray their own privilege and call her in, because this video and the last were violent in a way that I don't understand, but based on continuously unpacking my own colorist behavior, because we're all colorists and must be unlearning forever. I see how much she wants to share her hurt, but doesn't necessarily want to sit with the power she has to do so. I guess that's what they were saying. And then, so Amanda Seales tweeted about the colorist conversation.
Because white supremacy is what defines light skin privilege. Mm-hmm. White supremacy is the assumption that light is right, that anything closer to white is better. So there, by nature of that concept, creates a fissure within a Black community amongst who is deserving of more discrimination than other. However, even if you are a light-skinned Black person, you are still not a white person. And so that is a very, 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 very important distinction. Mm-hmm. And it is sometimes, I feel like, blurred, and that it's not a nuance. A nuance is much more subtle. That's like a very hard line distinction. And I think sometimes in the protection of Black culture and of the Black experience and of the groups of Black people who are far more discriminated against because of the amount of melanin in their skin, there's an idea that there isn't a space for lighter skinned Black folks to continue to speak as a part of this community. And I don't agree with it. Mm-hmm. And that's, I don't agree with that. I mean, I think ultimately it's being Black in this world is a very multifaceted and wide spectrum experience. And ultimately it is, in my opinion, the responsibility of all Black people to speak against racial discrimination and the white supremacy that continues to be perpetuated throughout this world.
That's it. So personally, I do think that light-skinned people have their own Black experience, yet a lot don't understand their privilege. And she could have done a series with facilitators to amplify the voices of dark-skinned women and learn from them. Since she seems to care about marginalized people, it would make sense to me. So now as Tiffany, the character Tiffany in Insecure. So Tiffany's, whose last name was Dubois or Dubois, however you want to say it, was Issa's outspoken friend from college. She was a bit bougie and happily married, and she reminded everybody that she was happily married. Some people didn't like her character, as she stated in the video. The trope is a bit overrated, yet she would get more hate from the show from wearing sorority colors like pink and green, which some felt was disrespectful and also perpetuating a stereotype. Someone says and then there comes the issue when there was a party and she said she wasn't invited, and people started to wonder if it was her personality that made other people uncomfortable. So what happened? Someone said she definitely had a falling out with someone on the Breakfast Club a couple years back. I remember her talking about some Black event that she either wasn't invited to or was uninvited to, but went on someone's +1. She ended up getting kicked out and causing a scene. And if I remember correctly, she was a little bothered that no one from Insecure stood up for her. Amanda in real life is a bitter pill to swallow. She doesn't get along with most people on the show, from the front camera to the back camera, but I'm sure it would have been an HR nightmare to try and fire her or write her off because of being likable in real life. So she stayed on, but she and everyone else were very aware of it was just a job. And she didn't share it in the camaraderie that the rest of, despite all of this controversy and people not liking her, she also faces misogyny and people misconstruing.
So I'm coming out the airport today, and TMZ stops me. It's a British guy, British reporter, and he's like, Amanda, you know, I'd love to talk to you about Palestine. Now y'all know I'm going to talk about Palestine. So I said, fine. However, I didn't know that they was going to do this. Insecure star Amanda Seales calls Biden evil for Gaza-Israel policy. I did not say that. I want you to listen to what I said and see how they twisted my shit.
For you personally, has Biden lost your vote because of things he's done and things he hasn't done for Palestinian people?
He definitely lost my confidence. That's for damn sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I am not in any position to tell people how to vote or where to vote, or in terms of him losing my vote. Ultimately, none of these politicians are really winning anyone's vote. They're just kind of possibly getting it by nature of choosing the lesser of two evils. And if I was a human being, well, I am a human being, and as I am a human being and I was running for office, I personally would hate for someone to be voting me because I'm the lesser of two evils. That means I'm still an evil.
Right. So what should he do then? If you were the president, what should he do?
If I were the president?
Right. President Seales.
In third grade, I said I would be the first Black female president of the United States of America. I'm sure Tom was like, I think on a basic note, the president can do exactly what Mehdi Hassan said he could do, and listen to the majority of the American people who have made it abundantly clear that they want to see a ceasefire. They want to see Palestinians no longer under the threat of death for literally just being Palestinian. And we also want to see a number of other things, like Biden actually just listening to us on the subject of education, on the subject. We want to see him stand up against the Republicans. That's what we really want to see.
Right.
We want to see an actual difference that is a chasm, not a half step. Now, I know y'all are like, Amanda, what would you expect from TMZ? Obviously, they were going to twist your shit. But I had specifically said, do not let my words get twisted. And he said, oh, I'm not going to do it. No, I've got you. So, Harvey, I bid you adieu. That's my last TMZ interview, because I really cannot believe that y'all went that far to put those kind of words in my mouth in that way, because that is such a misrepresentation of what I was trying to say, and y'all be playing with people's lives. I don't like it. Free Palestine.
Of what she says. And so now I'm going to get...
Y'all might chew me up for this, but I feel the way that we're coming at this Amanda Seales like this. I feel like nothing that she has done is that bad that we are agreeing that she doesn't deserve to be in these spaces. How can we say that? And from what I understand of Hollywood, they don't want anyone that's going to point out when anything is wrong. So I feel like we're doing the opposite. Instead of just kind of rallying behind her and saying, yeah, why wouldn't she be at the NAACP award show? Why wouldn't she be at Insecure's fucking industry party, whatever the hell it was? I don't give a fuck if she got into it with the publicist. All the motherfuckers get into it with each other. She's just not a kiss ass. She's not a kiss ass. And shout out to all the motherfuckers that's not kiss asses, because it makes you unlikable. And instead of us just, calling a spade, we're just saying, no, this bitch deserves it. And I just feel like that's kind of fucked up, because she's a fucking advocate for Black folks. And she be loud and aggressive about it. If I have somebody advocating for me, I don't want them whispering about that shit. I want them to be loud, aggressive, and getting their fucking point across no matter which way they can. So, I don't know. I could be biased. I'm a Black woman that come from Black women that don't play that shit. And if something is wrong, they are not going to say it nicely. They're not going to whisper it. They're going to scream that shit to the rooftop until somebody hear it, until something is done. So that's what I see in her. So maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I'm really disappointed to see so many videos of other Black women saying fuck her. Like, there's too much fuck Black women going on right now. So it just kind of sucks to me. My opinion, my take. Don't chew me up.
Ain't nobody blackball no damn Amanda Seales, okay? You've had conflicts with people throughout your entire career. This has been going on for 20 plus years. You done fell out with Issa Rae's publicist, who apparently is a very powerful woman. My girl was foaming at the mouth, had a full-blown temper tantrum because she was not invited to a party. And didn't you falsely accuse a neuroscientist of SA and sexual harassment? They say that you done put this man's livelihood in jeopardy, and it was all a lie. And of course, you took absolutely no accountability for it. Wasn't you You also supposed to be in flowetry, but that shit fell through because you wasn't getting along with the girls. They say Marsha Ambrosius was finna whoop that ass. That's what they say, child. I don't know. Rumor has it, according to these Philly streets, that there was almost a physical altercation between the two of y'all. I don't know. Marsha Ambrosius just seems like a really level-headed, nice lady. So I feel like if she wants to put her hands on you, it's because of you. You are the common denominator in all of your conflict. And I'm gonna say this, and I might get some backlash for it. Bad behavior is more tolerated and more acceptable from women who look like Amanda Seales. Let's be fucking for real. And if you don't believe me, ask Krayshawn, Andrea, Michelle. With that being said, if colorism, featureism, and texturism is not enough to get people to tolerate you, then you really may be the problem. No, baby, the problem really is you.
Something that upset me this week was Amanda Seales being vulnerable and saying, wow, I would really love to be invited to Essence and to other events. And then other women, especially our women, our sisters go, oh, it's because you're not digestible. That actually pissed me off very badly. Obviously, you could tell I'm a Jersey girl. I'm not very digestible. Although I'm diplomatic at certain points at work or in society, I am not a digestible woman. And even if I put on my calmest voice, I'm still a threat in some type of way when it comes to certain spaces where I'm at. Now, I know that a lot of you, and I can only talk to Black women. That's who I'm talking to. I know a lot of you love respectability politics when it comes to hair, when it comes to anything. Like, you guys like to follow the rules. And that's absolutely fine. I know a lot of people were saying, especially I'm talking really to my sisters, and to my brothers that said that bullshit, like, oh, she's not digestible, that's why she doesn't go anywhere. I just think it's so funny to say that she's not digestible because she gives her opinion. Some opinions I do agree with, some opinions I don't agree with, right? However, I find it very funny because Diddy was still invited to these events. Trey Songz, who's a serial rapist, is still invited to these events. Men are always invited to these events. They have all type of domestic violence and rape allegations, and they're still invited to these events. And Amanda just states her opinion and she's not digestible. It just screams bullshit to me. My whole thing is, you could have invited her at the end of the day. It's not like she was going to go whoop somebody's ass there. Like, you know, I just feel like they're like, oh, well, that's what happens. And then you can't complain about it. Do y'all hear yourself? I feel like some of us are no better than the people that we try to say, oh, are prejudiced against us. Because honestly, a lot of you sound just like them. A lot of you are conservative just like them. When it comes to religion and living everyday life, you are sick and sad. And I hope you get the help that you need. But if you can't get the help, go to hell.
Out of all the topics that is floating around on the internet, the one that I want to talk about the most is what's going on with Amanda Seales. So if you have not heard, Amanda Seales feels like she's been blackballed from Black Hollywood, and I can see that 100%. If you look at her resume, you have to give it up. This is impressive. The issue with Amanda Seales is that she keeps it too real. And a lot of people say that they like honesty, but they really don't. A lot of Black elites in Hollywood like to play the game of Hollywood, and they're okay with playing it by white rules. Amanda Seales doesn't seem like the type of person that want to do that. Nothing personified this more than when I saw her cast it on The Real. I was like, this is not going to end well. Get her out of there now. Not because I did not like her. Not because I don't think that she should be on daytime TV. Because you're sitting next to phony love. This is not going to work. As a fan of The Real, I knew that this was not going to work because The Real was very fake. It was very fraudulent. Although we need somebody like an Amanda Seales, everybody can't take her. Everybody cannot take brutal honesty. People like to pretend that they can, but they really can't. And the go-to defense is, oh, she always has an issue with everything. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're so content with how everything goes. Maybe you're okay with going along to get along, and she's not. She's not for everybody. She talked about how she has never been honored at Black Girls Rock. For as long as she has been put in the work, she should have been. How she has never been invited to Essence Fest. She should have been. How she was nominated for an NAACP award, but wasn't even invited to the award show. She hosted the BET Awards in 2020, has never been offered to come back as a guest. It is not too late to make this right. And honestly, all of these different publications and Black companies should be ashamed, because how are you playing by white rules at a Black business? I believe that this misogyny is coming from black people, which makes it even more insidious. No matter how you may feel about her personally, you can never say that she was wrong. Y'all are always talking about giving somebody their flowers while they're here. Y'all have closed her off from the garden. It is not too late to make this right. Y'all need to appreciate her while y'all still got her.
Amanda, let's just hear what she has to say, y'all.
If it wasn't for y'all, I would really. If it wasn't for y'all, I would really think that I ain't doing shit. Because the industry I'm in does not recognize me. And to be clear, I'm speaking about the black spaces in the industry I'm in. Because y'all know I don't give two damns about any of these other spaces. But the black spaces is what I'm referring to. Which is largely in part why I've realized, like, I need to shift out of this industry. You know, like, I don't get invited to Essence Women in Hollywood. I've never been invited to the NAACP Image Awards. I've been nominated for an Image Award. Never been invited to the NAACP Image Awards. Never been honored at Black Girls Rock. Like, I hosted these events. You know what I'm saying? I literally hosted the BET Awards in 2020 in my house, and I was not invited to the BET Awards since. So I just want to thank y'all for always reminding me that I really am valuable, because the game and the industry that I've been in has never let me know.
Now, after she took to social media to make that statement, people were basically giving their 2 cents. Now, somebody by the name of Seriously Black said Amanda Sales complaining that Black Hollywood doesn't F with her after years of burning bridges and ruining her chance to properly conclude her last big role because she was beefing with the Black cast is on brand, lack of self-awareness that I expect from her. If you guys remember, Amanda Sales was actually a co-host on the show The Real, and that was after Tamar Braxton had left, so they were trying to fill her seat. But it didn't last very long because a lot of the cast members stated that it just always felt like there was tension in between her, and she was always ready to begin an argument out of no argument to be had. Another person went on and said, Amanda Sales must have a terrible energy in person, because why so many people don't want to be around you? Great question. Now, another person came out in defense of Amanda Sales by the name of Star and says, I truly don't get the Amanda Sales hate. She's too real for y'all, and I think y'all be thinking she's pretentious when she's just confident and self-aware. Now, Amanda Sales does have an impassioned tone when she's talking about Black topics and Black issues. I think the biggest issue people have with Amanda Sales is that it's the time and place of when she decides to be impassionate about those topics. Because shows like The Real really never scratched the surface on the worldly topics that Amanda Sales is an expert at. She'd probably be a better fit as a commentator for like MSNBC or CNN. Some of your thoughts. What do you think about Amanda Sales? And do you honestly think that she should be blackballed from a lot of these industries?
Get to the public opinion piece. Someone says, the trouble with Amanda is that there is no balance. She doesn't play the game. I understand why she is that way, though. Respectability politics hasn't gotten us anywhere. So she says what needs to be said. It's pro-Black, pro-femme, pro-trans, pro-resistance. We need more voices like her. I think she will get her roses and applaud one day. Now is not her time. Too many of her peers are just happy to be there and not upset status quo, especially when they are dolled up and looking fabulous. She is forced, and I love her for it. She Black, beautiful, and intelligent, and unfortunately, that's not always praised in certain Black communities. Perhaps in an academic setting, she would be more accepted and appreciated. To me, it seems like it could be because of her being so pro-intersectionality. She's pro-Black in all of its identities. A lot of Black people are only selectively pro-Black when it's something that works for respectability politics. She's always been outspoken and strong in her stances. Women in general get left out for that. And in being Black, and that's just fuel to the fire. I mean, look, how many Black women celebs get ostracized when they speak out against things? If you follow her, you know she isn't afraid to speak on anything, and people actually believe her. With how messy Hollywood is, that's a threat to them. My friends who have met her and or worked with her or around her say that she's insufferable and entitled with no sense of self-awareness in real life. From what I've read, she's not likable. And that's unfortunate, but also her problem. And if she's the type to just make every conversation a Black issue or topic, I get her not being a vibe to be around. You gotta have more to talk about. She is annoying and believes she's smarter than everyone. She's not. That's why people can't stand her. Also, you guys gotta understand she's not FBA. She already has an inferiority complex. Okay. It's just a lot of comments that they don't agree with her. I'm not gonna read that. I might leave it up for y'all. Someone else says, I like her, but didn't know she was still working. I think she needs more fluid and a better management team. So in conclusion, Amanda Seales says, fulfilling my life's work via the art I make requires me to blend my real lived experience as a Black person with an academic, analytical, and critical awareness of the fullness of the Black experience of the liberal Candace Owens. In some ways, she gives off the talented 10th Black elite savior complex. While she's often depicted as angry, which I think people align with Blackness and outspokenness, she is also listened to because of her pretty privilege in a lot of ways, which has a lot to do with her being mixed and meeting the beauty standard. And no one person holds all the answers or allows that ego to rid us of that collaborative and or communal experience. If Amanda continues to act entitled, as some people are saying, if that's true, or like a know-it-all, that may keep her away from Black spaces, as there must be balance and a time and space to have fun and advocate. Or who knows, maybe Amanda just hasn't found her tribe. But as Lauryn Hill told Kanye, you are not the leader, you are a leader. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. And thank you for listening to Books and Looks TV. I'll see y'all next time.